Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to a special review for the brand new Ghost album Skeleta. This is their sixth studio album from the Macabre Rockers. We've also got a brand new persona from frontman Tobias Forge, Papa Phi Perpetua, and it came out on April 25th of 2025. I'm going to do a full review, an unboxing of this beautiful album in just a bit. But before we start, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things do help support my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by turning on notifications, you'll never miss an episode and stay up to date on everything going on in the world of music, just like this, with a review for the brand new Ghost album, Skeleta. So I want to kick off with a little bit of history and some background on the band. They are a Swedish rock band and formed in 2006, known for combining heavy metal, arena rock, and costumed theatrics into their set. The music, though, is richly steeped in classic rock. One of the reasons that I absolutely love this group, featuring sound that is reminiscent from the 70s, 80s, but also horror movie score style music, giving it that nice eerie vibe that we love. I've often heard them compared to Blue Oyster Cult, and I do get some of those references, but it seems like more and more I'm hearing elements of 80s rockers Def Leppard in their music. Debut album was released 5 years after forming in 2011, and originally all of the members were anonymous, simply known as a group of nameless ghouls, but the mastermind of the group, Tobias Forge, was outed during a lawsuit that was brought against him. He is better known, though, as Papa Emeritus, the anti-pope, and you got all different, character versions of him from the time that they've started. Papa Emeritus was from 2010 to 2017, and then he switched to Cardinal Copia from 2018 to 2020, but reverted back to the Papa Emeritus title in 2020 to 2025. But now we have another new one here with Perpetua 2025 going current. We'll have to wait and see how long this character runs for. All the other band members, though, still known as a group of nameless ghouls, which is kind of unfortunate because I have to say the musicianship on the album or played live, wherever it is that it takes place, is absolutely amazing, deserving of recognition in my opinion. But, all in all, I totally get it. It's a very cool sort of theme, the way that they do things within the band, imagery-wise, marketing, and all of that sort of stuff. But I am relatively new to the band, having come across them in 2020, not really getting everything up until that point. But it was during the pandemic and the song Rats that really caught my ear from the album Prequel in 2018. But with them having done the theme to the movie Halloween Kills, Hunter's Moon, that's where it sealed the deal for me, and I've been a fan ever since. So having really enjoyed the last album that they did, Impera, in 2022, it's with great honor that I am now reviewing this one, Skeleta, their sixth studio album, 10 tracks, clocking in at 47 minutes. As I said, this thing here, absolutely outstanding. It's worthy of noting, though, that it is the second shortest time between albums. Impera coming out in 2022. It's only 3 years now between albums, whereas in the past, they have done it as quick as 2 years, but it oftentimes has taken 4 years. So very glad to be getting this one here in sort of what is kind of short succession for the band Ghost. The album was described early on as being some of their most introspective work to date, and I would say lyrically, I think that is certainly the case on here, but I would say that musically, it really has also contributed to that impression. So I don't think it is just the lyrical aspect that gets that sort of heading added to it. I do think definitely the music on here, as Skeleta has sort of a different feel to it for me than than other albums from the band. There's less of the metal sound on this one, focusing more on production, in my opinion. Sounds of the late 80s, AOR, melodic rock, and even glam metal elements are making their way much more prominent on this album, borrowing from sounds of bands like I already mentioned, Def Leppard, but Journey. We already hear elements of the classic rock stuff from like Blue Oyster Cult on here, but definitely with the production creating a really kind of big, bombastic sounding feel to the album. And throughout the album as a whole, the band goes through many different sounds, styles, genres, moods, feelings, you name it. They kind of hit all these different exciting elements within it, really giving you something to sink your teeth into. And I'd have to say that I think this album is definitely the best produced or best mixed of all 6 of the Ghost albums. Being a child of the 80s, for me, I've always loved that really rich, thick, kind of over-the-top production style, and this album here has captured it beautifully. I will also want to point out that the Nameless Ghoul that is playing the lead guitar on the album needs to be unmasked, because what he brings to the album in terms of those lead fills and lead guitar work solos that are on here really elevates this album to the next level. While it does have more of a melodic rock feel throughout and is maybe not as heavy as past albums, the guitar work on here does in fact make it hit harder like those other albums, and simply just takes this album to another level in my opinion. So on that note, let's go ahead now and talk about some of the standout tracks for the album. And I want to start off with track number 3, Satanized, which was the first single on the album. Most of you are going to know that song, really well inside and out. But for me, at least, when I first heard it, I wasn't overly thrilled with that song because of its slower pace. However, in due time, that became one of my favorite tracks on the album. I now see why it is that they chose to release it, because it does stand out so well. But that sort of mid-pace rock, melodic rock sounding style song that it is, and it does come in as track number 3, it fits really well in the overall arc of the album, giving you nice peaks and valleys of what the album starts with, where it moves to, then this song picks up, and where other songs hit for the album. Moving on to track 5, Profundus Borealis. While the song itself does start off with a quiet piano introduction it does quickly move into one of the most rockin' songs on the album. It's got a killer groove, chugs right along, total fist pumper in my opinion. I think this song is going to go down gangbuster style in concert. Next, we got track 7, Massilia Amori. This one here, if you didn't already know Ghost was fans of Def Leppard, I think this one here should totally give it away to you guys. Along with the lead guitar work that's on it, there's so many elements in this song that I feel is a throwback to the sounds of Def Leppard. There's a number of other parts on the album. The opening track, I think, also has a number of things like that, and not in a way that they're ripping them off, just nods to that style. Those people that really enjoy the classic Def Leppard sound, I think, is one of the reasons they would be drawn to Ghost. Track number 8, Marks of the Evil One, is a beautiful melodic rocker. This one here has a little bit of an evil undertone, certainly tying in with the title itself. But those two things together and the thumping production that is on this song makes it one of the best songs from the album, and makes it sound, honestly, like it's kind of ripped right out of a different era. And I love that about it. And then track number 9, Umbra, which is quite possibly a perfect song. This one here has a beautiful synth-laden opening. It kind of builds until we kick in with a killer guitar riff on this thing. It's got eerie vocals, killer, sing-along chorus style on this thing. It's got basically all the elements that one wants from a Ghost song, all rolled into one thing here on this track, and it is my personal favorite from the overall album. So let's take a look at this. front cover. I've already flipped it around. You've seen this a number of times. You got the track listing right there. I did notice on the vinyl editions that that area is covered by Papa 5 Perpetua on the back of the thing, and I have to say that I'm very glad that we get to see the track listing on the CD edition. Before I go too far, I do want to point out there is cassette edition, and I already mentioned the vinyl edition, but I did want to point that out. If we open this up, this is what we see on the inside there, CD, and this thing here was, if you went to the midnight release, and if you didn't get a chance to go to that, I did film an entire video on it, and it is posted here on this channel. You can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description, but stamps like the one you see here were being stamped into albums, onto the vinyl, onto the CD, perhaps even the cassettes, although I didn't see anyone have their cassette open and stamped. But I wanted to point out that that stamp is on the inside, but isn't going to look like that, you know, if you were one that attended, and that was kind of a cool thing. So I want to take out the CD because the one and only photo of the band is in the inlay card here. Unfortunately, no pictures on the inside of the booklet. A little bummed about that. I would have loved to have seen a lot of different shots of band members, you know, group shots or of Papa 5 Perpetua in here. They've got very cool masks, so definitely worth checking out. But you get all of the lyrics and everything, so that's what's on the inside of the album for you guys, so that you know. All right, bottom line, I think you guys know where I stand on this album. It is a fantastic album from start to finish. Not a bad song on here. Before I'd even completed one round of listening to the album, I was already thinking this very well could be at the top spot for my year-end countdown of albums for 2025. Obviously, I've got to give it a bunch more listens. I would say I've probably already listened to this thing a solid 5 times, if not more, and I'm already really, really enjoying this, and it is certainly one of the strongest albums released thus far, as we are at the end of April, so a full 4 months into 2025. This one here is, you know, doing things right, in my opinion. And, you know, even though this album here does have a different sound and feel from past albums, I think it only builds on that legacy of tradition that they've already set forth. And I do love bands that change sounds on albums. Not one album sounds like the other album. Yet at the same time, all those different things that we love about those past albums, about the band Ghost, do appear on this album. So it's not like they've gone and completely changed or done anything of that nature. We just have a unique sounding album. And I would definitely highly recommend this album for all Ghost fans, but even more so for all those people who haven't really checked out the band yet, who's maybe had the imagery of the band or the lyrical content keep them at bay, as it did me for a very long time, where I didn't really understand what the band was all about. I would say now it is time to give the band your attention. Check the band out. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, as this album really has some of the best music going on right now in 2025. And there you go. That is my review and unboxing for the brand new Ghost album Skeleta. And certainly don't forget to check out the video that I filmed. Let's go to the Ghost midnight release for Skeleta. The album listening party, it was a lot of fun, took place at Factory Records in Dover, New Jersey, where I am. There was about 250 of these that went on around the world, and it certainly added a lot of hype and was very cool that Ghost did that, bringing back the album midnight release, which I fondly grew up on as a kid. So as I said, hope you got to attend. If not, hope maybe you get to attend the next one. But Ghost always doing a lot of cool things around their album. And for Skeleta, it's no different. All right, everyone, take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.